Kelly Springer. Kelly, we have a really exciting guest today, don't we?
We do. So, for over the past 2 decades, Daniela Ginoza has been one of the most respected entertainment reporters in the US Hispanic market, trusted voice for Latino audiences. And she's interviewed Hollywood's biggest stars in the Oscars, Golden Globes, Grammys, SAG Awards. This is impressive. I cannot wait to introduce. Hello, Danielle. We're so excited.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Neil. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I can't believe you've been
Fantastic.
able to do that. That's
Yeah,
like honestly
you're
just so much fun, right?
that's
It is fun. It is a lot of work as well, especially right now. Award season is approaching, and I don't like it. I want to be in my pajamas watching the Oscars. I don't want to be covering another one, but because it's a lot of work. But other than that, yes, it's a fun job. Definitely, I'm very lucky.
well, I'm going to
I
ask one question about Hollywood, and then we'll go into nutrition and all that. But this is going to be a fun conversation. You have interviewed people bigger than I have interviewed as celebrities because I have a pretty good celebrity list myself, Daniela, of
Yeah.
people I've interviewed, but not to the level that you have because I have pretty much stayed either on Zoom or on the phone. It's basically to get to the A-listers and get to the peoples, get to the events. And who are you independent or you work for a major company to get to cover all these events?
Yes. And that is a great question, Neil, because I have been approached by a lot of media wanting me to cover for them, internationally. And I always say, it's the brand, it's the outlet that you're covering for, that actually opens the doors. That's the reality of it. And if you are a big brand yourself, a big influencer yourself, maybe that would happen. But traditionally, it's going to be the big networks. It's still going to be the big networks, even when nobody is watching TV, traditional TV, they are still watching what those outlets are putting out there digitally. So you have to work for a big company. I am an independent contractor, but my job, I do it for Univision, which is the biggest Hispanic network in the US. That is the outlet for which I cover all those interviews.
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what do you have to do? I mean, because when you say a lot of work, you've got to really know all about this person, right? Before you dive into it. I mean, on podcasts, we're just like, it's like speed dating. But for those types of interviews, you have to know a lot.
And you know what, Kelly, you only have 4 minutes. You only have 4 minutes. Most of the times, yes, I've landed a lot of exclusives in which you sit down with the talent one on one, and you have 20 minutes probably or 30 minutes to talk. But in the big majority of the cases, 98% of the cases, you sit down and you just have 4 minutes at a junket to land a good question, to get a good answer, or a couple of them. In my case, because I work for Univision, I have to repeat the question in English, and I'm sorry, in Spanish. So I have to do double, and then, they will respond. So I just, and they know already. Most of them know me. So I just sit down, ask the question in English, ask in Spanish, and hopefully I get, a couple of good answers. So yes, you have to be not only you have to be very familiar with the movie that you're talking about, right? You have to watch
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah, you have to watch the movie priorly. There's no way that you can interview them without it, with the movie that they're promoting or doing, or the series.
Mhm.
Um, but also the thing is, you cannot sit down in front of I don't know, a George Clooney and talk superficial stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is, you're a journalist. then you are an entertainment journalist. So you have to know your stuff. You have to know what's going on in the world. You have to know what is interesting to him. What is he interested in? What are they doing? What if they are participating in a campaign? If they've been, if they are participating in any activism, and yeah, you have to be prepared. And nowadays, award season is coming, so I'm exhausted. I have to watch so many series and movies right now. Yesterday,
that's really funny.
Yeah, yesterday I was like, it was 10 o'clock and I still have to watch a series, and I was like, okay, tomorrow, I don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm going to London actually tomorrow to cover Bridgerton.
Oh, wow.
And I still have to watch it because I haven't
Well,
watched.
you have the time on the plane. It'll be perfect.
Yes, I guess.
You see, and I've learned that in having to watch certain projects for certain people who are like, okay, you have to preview this. When I have the time, as I'm an entrepreneur, on my own business and all these things, and like, okay, you have to watch this film. And I'm like, okay, I did. But sometimes it's like, and then when you're working with NBC, so I get it, the 4 to 6 minutes, and I try to ask questions that no one else is going to ask them, and really try to get. And the biggest thing, they get frustrated when you stay away from their project and you ask other questions. The biggest thing is, I've had celebrities on all the time. If you would just go into what you really want to interview them on, and it's not their project, you're not going to build the relationship. You want to go into deeper questions. I'm asking if I'm correct on this, that really will resonate and can make a connection. And especially for your audience that wants to hear this about them, especially the projects. With that, the reason why they're doing press is they want to promote their project.
You're 100% right. And I balance that. I'm going to give you a trick. If you have 4 minutes, you ask the first 2 questions on the project, and then the third one on something that you really want to know or talk about. Now, if they talk a lot, make it 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first one about the project, and then the second one related to the project, but also you can go kind of personal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I do in those ones. It just depends. But then more celebrities you interview, you're like, okay, what does our audience really want to know? And
Exactly.
that's the key thing is, if asking the same popcorn questions like so many journalists do, people are bored. Like I'm tired, when the people are on tours, I can't imagine the tours that they do like for 6 hours. It's being asked the
the
same
same
plain
question.
questions.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, you have to be creative, and I mean, it's not brain surgery. You can do it, right? You can come up with different questions. There are questions, of course, that everybody's going to ask, like James Cameron and Avatar, Fire and Ash, right? Everybody's going to be like, okay, so it's the conclusion of the trilogy. Are you thinking about continuing? Everybody asks that because you have to, but then, hey, ask something else, right? Something more creative.
All right, so I'm going to put it towards the direction that Kelly and I would like to go, even though this would be so much fun to have a question. Kelly and I are going to go into more the health side, because for you to be in front of the camera, to be able to go and do these things and interview and be on the red carpets, Kelly, I know what questions you'll ask. Go ahead.
How do you say healthy?
As I'm zipping my first cup of green tea in the morning. And it's funny that you ask and that this interview comes at this time. I am planning to launch a functional medicine and longevity podcast next in January in Spanish for the most underserved community.
Wonderful.
Yes. Gosh, we need it. We need it so much. Because I have been an enthusiast of back then alternative medicine, now we call it functional medicine and nutrition, for probably 27 years. That's something that people don't know about me. And again, it's so interesting that this interview comes right now. I am a biohacker. I am a nutritional nuts. Like my diet, there is no negotiation around it. It's an anti-inflammatory diet. It's loaded with antioxidants. I take many supplements a day, but it's not because I think I need them. It's because I get my blood test every 4 months, and I monitor myself, and I see, what is it that I need, or what is it that I don't need anymore. And yes, so yeah, everything, my life it's a lifestyle, and everything is about nutrition and taking cold baths and sleeping on a red light therapy mat, PMF mat.
I'm getting the mask, by the way. I'm going to get the red light therapy mask.
Yeah, I sleep on it every night.
There's a mask too. It'll be on your face.
There is, the
diary of the CEO is. I'm big into the biohacking, but I'm going to go to Kelly.
I got all the gadgets.
But see, Kelly, you're hearing good things. This is what you want to hear, right? About nutrition.
Well, I was thinking, it's really interesting, and you're going to have a podcast coming up, and we would love to have one of our Spanish-speaking dietitians on your podcast. So that would be
fantastic. Course. Please.
But I think it'd be really neat. And again, I know all of the famous people are busy and they're going through, and we want to know about their movies, but they all do seem to focus on health and wellness because they have to, right? They have to look a certain way. They have to help with the aging aspect. And so when you talked about anti-inflammatory and antioxidant diets, most Americans don't know what that means. So when you talk about that, what are some of the foods that you're incorporating into your breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I fast for 18 hours. Breakfast is always skipped. I start eating probably between, let's say, 11:30 and 2. That's my window. It all depends on how I'm feeling. It's not that, I'm going to do the same thing every day. When my body is, okay, I need my veggies right now, I break my fast with a salad. And yes, everybody, I know. Oh my God, how can you have, salad for breakfast? Yes, you can. If you have a horrible bunch of pancakes that does nothing to you, you can get your body used to have salad in the morning. So I can break it with a salad and then an omelet, or just omelet with avocado, my favorite. I usually do Ezekiel bread toast with avocado and some salmon, probably. Like, that's another option. That would be my breakfast. That would be my 3 options, or mix them all. Yep. Green tea is non-negotiable. You want to see me in a bad mood, take my meditation out of, the first thing in the morning, and my green tea. I'm an ogre without my green tea in the morning. So that's kind of lunch breakfast, brunch. Yeah. And then in the afternoon, I would have, also, because I have to take various supplements that are fat soluble. Yes. I would have a little bit of coconut yogurt, the necessary fats, and also a spoon of omega-3s, so that I can take my supplements with it. Sometimes 86% dark chocolate makes my day, right? As a dessert, always, because you cannot start the day with anything sweet. Then I would have typically some fish or chicken with more vegetables. And in case that I really want something sweet, I would follow with like berries or apples or pears, whatever is in season. You have to eat whatever is in season, remember, right? We know that. But I try to stay away from sugars And that includes a lot of fruit because, fructose is fructose. Your body doesn't tell. Your body cannot tell. So I stay away from gluten, dairy, and sugars.
Okay. I'm going to go with it's so interesting how Amy Prenner figures out things that
Yeah.
we would be interested in. Kelly would be interested in. I'm intrigued as the journalist. I guess I call myself a journalist, even though this is what I did, but yeah. And just the whole thing also, that Daniela, I am producing a financial podcast in Spanish for a client in New York City.
My
So
God.
I'm starting that. I am about to get that going. I'm going to do the English one with him. One of my clients, Michael Aguas, is white labeling the service with me. And they have a Rainstorm Media, but their client in New York City is going to do a accounting type podcast in Spanish, which I think
And
is going to
again,
be.
we need it so much. Thank you for that.
We all
Yeah,
do.
so
That financial and physical health going together. And if you don't have one, it affects the other and they go back and forth. So Daniela, I don't know if you know that I'm a dietitian.
Of
That's
course, yes.
okay. Like that's
Yes, I know that, Kelly.
So it's just interesting. Like I love learning about what people are doing. And you live in California right now, right?
Yes, yes.
So, and I think so. We're over on the East Coast, and it's funny. We would work with food brands from a decade ago, and they're something like quinoa, simple as quinoa, and I would tell the people of the brand name. I would say you're living here in California. You guys are light years ahead of where we are. I said, do you know I'm still explaining what like certain ancient greens are? Like no one knows, and so it's really interesting of kind of the health forward just environment that you're in versus where we are, and so it's interesting.
I just gotta say, I'm privileged. Just living in California, the amount of alternatives that you have and products available in places to which you go and you get your blood test and genetics, and there's so much. But what I am trying to teach the Hispanic market, because of course they don't have, it's not like anybody has $1,500 to go through a test, once a year, just like that. So I am teaching them how just to prevent and lead a very healthy life with whatever they have already. For instance, you just said that, and thank you for saying it the right way, quinoa. I'm Peruvian, so I take it very seriously when they say quinoa, and I'm like, no, it's quinoa. So thank you for saying quinoa. And I've been eating that my whole life. It's like it's not something. It's not a health food for me. My mom and my grandma would be like, no, eat it, it's good for you. And I remember I didn't like it when I was a kid, but yeah, it grows in the Andes, in the Peruvian and Bolivian Andes. So it's actually something that the Incas, it was the basic diet of the Incas. Is quinoa was one of the basic products that they would use and they would consume every day. And as a matter of fact, charqui, which is a Quechua word, charqui, with later on became jerky.
Oh, okay.
That is also it has its origins on the Inca Empire, and it's dry meat with a lot of salt because they didn't have refrigerators over there.
I cannot wait. I want to get. I was lucky to go to Chile for my friend's wedding a few years ago, and that entire area in South America is just some of the freshest foods, best recipes. We were really lucky. All of his aunts live there. The aunties live there, so they were able to cook all fresh food for us. for the wedding. And it truly was amazing. And I can't wait to get back and be able to tour more of the giant continent.
Well, when you're ready to go, let me know. I'll let you know where to go. Well, we have the best restaurant in the world right now. Second time that Peru has the best restaurant in the world. It was 3 years ago. We had Central. Now we have Maido, and we are among the top 3 cuisines in the world. So you have to go and eat over there as well.
Yeah. We will. Well,
All
I'm
right.
so glad you were on the show today.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
It was fantastic, and definitely had to talk about how many financial literacy podcasts there are out there in Spanish, especially for so. And the thing is, you're making it international. We're focusing on local United States because of his business. So that I don't think there's a lot that are doing it in Spanish. So I think it's important. I think it's so needed because there's not that content out there for them.
Definitely. I don't think there are many. I'm not going to say there are none, but as a matter of fact, I'm also concentrating in the US Hispanic market because there are health podcasts in the world in Spanish, definitely. But the US Hispanic population is a different animal.
Totally.
It's a different animal than Latin America and Spain. So we have to concentrate on that one.
My one client says it's bilingual, so a lot of them speak both, but they would like to have it in their native language. So that's the other powerful part of it.
Especially numbers. I think you want it in, in your native language.
Exactly. All right. Where's the best place we can connect with you and find info about your podcast and where you're going and all those things?
Wherever you go, at Daniela Ganosa. So it's Daniel with an A at the end, like it's just one L, and then it's Ganoza, Daniela Ganosa, in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that, X, and so on.
All right, sounds good. And go to kellyschoice.org and pick up the new weight loss era. Appreciate it, Kelly. Thank you, Daniela.
So much.
All right.
Thank you, guys.